What's going on, guys? This is Dean from Wafflypie, and we're back in more Kerbal Space Program. And today, we're going to be finishing up the Kerbin system by sending a moon colony to the surface. So this launch marks the core, the central hub of the colony that we're going to be setting up on the moon. And although it doesn't dock to anything because it's fairly hard to dock something while it's on land, it will have kind of a territorial significance. And so having this is going to mark a new era. So, with these additions to the moon, we'll have this central core, we'll have some lighting fixtures, we'll have some housing modules, we'll have some drilling modules, those will be important, and our colony is going to be our main source of kethane, because the moon is very rich in kethane, and it was also very easy to get to. With our scanners for kethane, it should not be a problem finding somewhere to land. And I'd like to land on the face that's tidally locked with Kerbin, just so that we can always look up and see our home. So moon bases are pretty heavy, and that's why we're kind of running out of fuel before we're even in a circular orbit. But that's alright, because I've fitted it with a bit of an extra fuel tank and a larger rocket than normal to help compensate for that. So hopefully we'll be able to land it. Here we are, we've reached the burn for the moon, and we've gone actually quite a ways into our transfer stage already, because moon bases, like I said, are pretty heavy. So I'd be surprised if we can make it on this stage, but it's not looking like it. Yeah. So instead we're going to have to use a bit of our lander stage, and that is not detaching. So unfortunately, this means that we will not have the maximum amount of delta V that we'll need for a good landing. But I don't think that's going to be much of a problem. I'm actually just going to real quick see how low of a periapsis I can get. 6,000, alright. So now all I need to do is a quick transfer. And there's the moon. Oh. Well, it looks like our maneuver was off, so we're going to need to use this blue shifting marker to edit our orbit a bit so that we get it just above the surface. 12,000 is good. Oh. Alright. Well, strangely, if you have a robotic control as well as a manned control, you won't be able to do anything if you don't have power, but you can still operate everything, which makes sense, I guess, but that's why it's always important to have solar panels. 6.2 meters per second is not a large burn, so I might as well just keep that in. Even with no thrust, like next to not even a tenth of a G of acceleration, we made that. So just to avoid the spinning that you saw earlier, I'm not going to allow this to put out. So now these tubes won't make any spin. Always remember for these types of missions, you want to keep, you want to only burn to slow down at the periapsis, because at that point you're saving the most fuel that you possibly can and you're getting the most circular orbit that you possibly can. So in doing this, I'm going to circularize our orbit like that. (11 by 15), that's alright. And now, I'm actually going to let it make a few passes, just so that it can get up to this little area up here in the green, because that's going to be where our keythane is, and that's what we're looking for. Here we are approaching the high keythane area that we plan to land on, and we're looking pretty clean for the launch, or for the land. I'm actually going to make a very quick adjustment. Just so that we get in a bit better of a place to land. And I've re-enabled transfer between this bottom part here and the top part, just so that it doesn't, we don't waste any fuel that we will really need on our way down. So we can start our burn here. We can cut it and leave it for a while. Well, it does look like there is some good and bad news, because on the good, bright side, it does look like we are going to be able to make this with almost half of the fuel that this thing can carry left. I'm pretty sure everything is optimized for it. Yes. As well as a pretty decent landing curve, although it could be a bit more shallow, that's fine. Unfortunately, it does look like we're going to get spin no matter what we do. So we're going to have to keep it slow, minimalized, And hopefully that way we'll be able to make it. I do have the lights set up, so they will shine on the ground as soon as we can see it. But we are still 5 kilometers up. And we're dropping fairly fast. I don't really want to keep having to burn just... Oh, that is the ground. That came as a bit of a shock to me. I did not see that. Apparently we're in a bit of a highlands where we are going to land. So we can bring it down real softly here. At 4 meters per second. 3, 2, 1, and we've landed. We are on the moon. We can see Kerbin rise 24 hours a day because of where we are. So let's activate our panels so that this craft doesn't become dead. That is the hatch. We can activate our satellite dish. Communicate with our array. We can, that is the wrong side. We can step out the ladder. Turn that off to save some energy. And have one of our Kerbals walk outside. Plant his feet on the ground. Or back. And plant a flag in the name of the new colony. And that will wrap up our series of Kerbin. The proud blue ball in the sky. And from now on, we'll be setting our sights higher. We'll be going to other planets and interplanetary space from now on. Of course, we will come back to visit every now and then, but for now, we're going to be finished. So, until those times, this has been Dean from Wafflypie, and I'll see you guys next time.